My name is Kyle O'Neill. I'm a senior here at Columbia College in Chicago, and my film is a dramedy called Rear View, and it's about two sisters, Sydney and Jade, who attempt to regain their inheritance by enduring their father's mapped 2-week journey across America, all the while their father's ex-wife is trying to derail their journey. So the two main characters, Sydney and Jade, begin their road trip determined to keep their distaste for each other. So they speed through the first 2 stops of the trip, but what the two don't know at the time is that the father's ex-wife has sent their handyman and her ex-lover named Gunther to follow the girls and keep them basically from finishing the trip. So first the sisters get to the first overnight stop, an old rundown combination hotel water park, where an ongoing bedbug issue has forced the two to share a bedroom. While the two are getting ready for bed, Gunther releases a stink bomb into their room, which sends the sisters into a frenzy. The two flee the hotel and seek shelter in their car. The next morning, they set out on the road. After 5 hours of silence, the sisters are confronted with a growing blizzard. The two sisters are forced off the road and stop at an abandoned cabin on the side of the road. After an altercation between the sisters over their corporate living and kind of the way they live their life, Sydney goes out in the blizzard to try and find cell phone reception as she slips and sprains her ankle on a patch of black ice. After some time, Jade becomes concerned and ventures out to look for her sister. So the snow has really at this time created a whiteout, making it impossible to see. So Jade begins to hear a faint screech in the distance and follows it to see Sydney sprawled out on the ground. Jade grabs a few sticks, rips off a piece of her shirt, and makes a brace for her leg. Jade helps Sydney back into the cabin and then runs back to her car to retrieve her medical kit. When she arrives at her car, she finds that the tires have been slashed and the windows have been broken in. Snow fills the car. Sydney retrieves the medical kit and heads back to the cabin to bandage up Sydney. Now, this time is kind of when Gunther becomes a little bit more involved. So we begin to see some flashing red lights approach in the distance. An unmarked Crown Vic approaches the cabin, sirens blaring. Gunther emerges from the car, draped in a police officer's uniform. He attempts to arrest the sisters for trespassing when Sydney notices an issue with his badge number. The two realize that Gunther is not who he claims to be. Jade, in a heroic effort, grabs a pipe off the floor, bops Gunther over the head. The two narrowly escape in Gunther's car to discover that in his car, too, there's this entire, basically, file on them with their photos, information. They also find Gunther's notebook with a payment statement linking him to their father's ex-wife. So they kind of know that she's been the one trying to derail their trip thus far. So this is to report Gunther to the police for impersonating an officer. He quickly rolls on Heather, the ex-wife, claiming her to be the mastermind. And the two sisters are now, this kind of brings them together a little bit and almost gets them to, not hate on each other so much. At the end, Sydney and Jade come to the realization that people aren't always one thing, that you can be good and bad, and that time heals all wounds. Thanks.